Hi, everybody. It's Everything Energy with Tina and Jeremy. I'm Jeremy Bills.
And I'm Tina Falk.
How you doing,
Hello.
Tina?
Oh, you know what? I'm so excited for today. In fact,
I am
I'm
too.
so excited and a little nervous. I had to run to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times before getting on because our guest today, the best.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
We have a special guest today. Her name is Autumn Jensen, and she is multifaceted in every way.
Right?
She's not only a high priestess, she's a feng shui practitioner, she's psychic, she's a healer. I'm so excited and thrilled that she's here today. But first, how are you doing? How are things on in your world?
You know what? My world is doing everything's going really smoothly. And I was having a moment, kind of actually a reflective moment this morning. I was sending a boxer back to a friend of mine, and she had said something last week, and I'd just been percolating on it all weekend. And it really it brought up so much emotion, and it brought up some awareness in myself that I really need to work on standing up for myself and
Mm,
asking for what I want because I'm so good at wanting to be there for other people and support them. Hey, whatever you need. But I don't
mhm.
ask for that. And I need to stand up. And I realize that the things that I probably need aren't that big of a deal anyway. So why am I making such a big deal out of it?
I
So,
totally agree. As someone who knows you very well, I totally agree.
yeah. So I'm going to work on that. You'll have to hold me accountable to that.
Okay, I can do that.
I know you can. That's why I picked you. How are you doing?
No.
I know it's
Well,
been a lot.
my world has been a shit show. Our car broke down the other day, and we're filming this during a holiday weekend, and we were told that it would be done, but then they kept the car and didn't tell us that they were keeping the car. So we've been without a car all weekend. So it's been crazy, but we get it back soon. All is well.
All will be well. You learn to
Yes.
appreciate those little things, right?
Well, yeah, when you feel trapped and confined. I mean, listen, truth time, right? Trigger warning. I don't leave my house. But when I don't have an option to leave my house, you feel like a caged beast, right? So,
Sure. Yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
Awesome. Well, maybe we should let Autumn in. I called her April, but they're both seasons. Autumn. Let's let Autumn in.
Should we? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what I can do here.
There
There
she
she
is.
is.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are
You
you
two
doing,
kill
Autumn?
me.
What a treat. What a treat. I'm so thrilled.
How are you doing, Autumn?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Life
Good.
is just passing by one way or the other, so I better choose good.
I like
That's a good
that.
attitude.
Yeah. How's your labyrinth going? You've been recreating your labyrinth, that whole space in your property.
So slow because of
Mm.
the weather.
Oh,
Utah
yeah.
weather. Oh my gosh. Utah weather.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then just, as an example, like I went to the store and there was this most magnificent flower standing in the middle of the aisle like it was meant for me. And I just like it was like running slow motion down the aisle to each other. And I just was like, oh, I've got to have this flower. It's so beautiful. And I brought it home and I waited for good weather to plant it next to the labyrinth. And then I planted it on a warm day and I went out later and it was just like, bleh,
No.
because it's too hot for it. And
Oh.
so I nurtured it and loved it and kissed it and hugged it and all the things. And the next day it was just like laying on the ground. So I dug it back up, put it back in a pot, stuck it under the shade, blessed it, all the stuff. And then it turned cold. So then I had to move it inside. That's the labyrinth. That's how it's going.
Oh my gosh. So for the listeners that don't know, Autumn has this amazing labyrinth on her property that you can walk in meditative practices, and it's magical.
Hmm. It really is. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be special. It'll be worth it. So hopefully you can get it done here soon. Looks like the weather will be clear for you. But it's no fun
That's
working in that hot heat either.
it's like one or the other. Choose.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get to know you. I want to get to know you more. I mean, we've known you for quite a while, and you're one of our favorite people. I'm speaking
Oh,
for both
thank
of us
you. Thank you.
because I know you
You're
are.
two of my favorites.
So, do you mind if we ask you some questions to get to know you a little
Sure.
bit?
Sure.
All righty. Well, first of all, I know Jeremy, kind of rattled off some of the wonderful gifts that you have. Nowadays, when you're talking to people, what do you tell them it is that you do? Like, what's your job title or
That's a tough
titles?
one.
Like,
That's a
okay, so
tough
let's
one.
let's do it this way. Then, what is it that the work that you want to focus on? Because maybe you have all of these titles from the past that you're still doing, but what is it that you really want to focus on right now? That you want to tell people that this is what I want to do, how I can work with you?
I really like the healing work that I do, the Reiki. I really
Mm.
like that. I really like plant medicine. And I don't
Mm.
mean like hallucinogenic plant medicine. I don't know how to do that, the ayahuasca and stuff. Mostly it's just like the herbal
Mm-hmm.
medicine I really enjoy. I really enjoy the flowers and helping people with concoctions, potions. I love the ritual of that. I love teaching the ritual of that.
Mm.
So, and I love the astrology. I love the astrology, the Chinese astrology. I love
Mm-hmm.
doing that. Yeah, I like to know what makes people tick.
Mm. Right? Oh my gosh. I know you guys are like me, but it's like hearing somebody talk, or it's like my mind's going, they've got to be this animal. And I just want to go, wait, when were you born? Please tell.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Hmm.
love that, which is kind of interesting because the next question is, what's the most exciting part of what you do?
Oh God, you guys are making this hard. You know, I feel like the answer is so contradictory. It's
Mm,
probably my chart because in Eastern astrology, my master is fire, and in Western astrology, I'm a triple air sign. And so
mm.
it's like go, flow, now go, now flow, now go.
Oh,
And so, uh, yeah, ask the question again. I forgot.
What's the most exciting part of what you do?
Oh, I love people. Like, I just love,
mm,
I
mm-hmm.
find people so fascinating. And that's why I said contradiction, because I want the people around, but then I want to be alone. And then I want the people around so I can analyze them some more. And then I want to be alone because I'm analyzing myself. Right?
Oh,
So, yeah, that's the contradiction. It's like totally
that,
contradicting all the
yeah,
time.
that's so interesting. And is it because now that you know who they are, you want them out? Okay, now that.
Sometimes, sometimes it's like, I'm just giving, giving, giving to my clients, and then they want more, more, and more. Suck, suck, suck. Some of them, some of
Hmm.
them. For the
Yeah.
most part, I'm very, very blessed with my clients. But yeah, sometimes it's like, okay, I need a break.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go into my
You.
garden with my beloved flower now.
Um, so yeah, you're one of the most giving people I've ever met in my whole life. You are exceptional at it. You're a great teacher of it, a mentor of that. Um, and that's got to show up in your chart. What is your, would you mind sharing your Western and Eastern signs with us?
So Eastern, I am dog, rat, dog, pig.
Mm,
And Western, I'm a Libra, Sun with a Gemini rising and a Gemini ascendant. So triple air.
There's the duality, the Gemini. Go away, come back. Go away, come back.
And what did you say? I forgot. That was the Gemini.
Yeah,
Wait, I got
yeah, that's
spoken
the triple
away.
air. The air is like, where am I? What am I doing? What was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and then those two dogs in your chart, right? They just want to be of service. They want to be, part of the community. And then your pig is just, that's Earth's angel. And that's who you are. Just want to give, give, give with no limits.
It's true.
Yeah, you're phenomenal.
Oh,
You
thank
are.
you. Thank you so much.
So
Some of
switching
it's
gears a
because of
little,
you guys, you know.
what was that? Sorry.
I said a lot of it is because of you guys and what I've
Oh,
learned
you're so
from
sweet.
you.
Such a sweetheart. So switching gears a little bit, what is it? You may have already answered this, but what is it that you like to do to relax?
Oh, go to the mountains.
Mm. Do you have a special
Mhm.
place you like to go?
Yeah, I own a little piece of property up in the canyon. It's got a view of a mountain range,
Mm.
and I have an old trailer that's parked up there, and I
Really?
can. It's close enough. I can go whenever I want, and I can just
Mm-hmm.
sit there. There's a million hummingbirds that come and surround me. They remember me, and I walk out of my trailer with the hummingbird feeder, and they're just right there.
Oh my gosh.
And they'll sit on my finger and eat out of the, yeah. So that's the recharge place.
Wow.
Really?
Oh, that's special that you have that to go to get out of town. Speaking of travel, where would you rather travel to if you had the chance? Would you prefer to go back in time or into the future?
Future.
What do you want to see in the future?
Who do I want to see?
Or what? Why the future?
Oh, because it's just a question of what's possible. I already know the past. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know what's coming. I want to know what we can possibly create here and how that manifested.
Yes. To see
That's
our hard
amazing.
work pay off, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I
I
love
love
that.
that.
Um, Tell us how you got into the work that you do. What is it? Where did it start? Where did it all begin?
The woo woo stuff.
Yes.
I was always just a curious, and still am, just such a curious person, especially about the mysteries and the things that we can't explain. And when I was 16, I left home trying to escape unhealthy relationships and finding myself just in another one.
Mm,
and uh, and I thought, you know, there's got to be better. I know there's better. Like I can just feel it that there's got to be something better and more meaningful. And so by the time I was 17, I was completely on my own. And I was asking these questions, where do I go from here? How do I not repeat these unhealthy relationships over and over? Because I had seen that in my family, just this repeated sequence of events continuing over. And I want more than that. I want better than that. So I heard about this psychic astrology lady named Terry, and I went to see her. And I don't remember what she told me now because that's like 45 years ago. or more, maybe more. But her and I had a connection. And so I was mostly at that time curious, just curious about what she did. And so I kept going back. And eventually we became friends, and she taught me how to meditate. And not that it was like a major eye opener at that time, because I kind of dabbled and then I'd slide back, and then I'd dabble and I'd slide back. But years, in the coming years, I would take on that practice of meditation. And really, that is a life changer to go into meditation and be able to connect with the universe and listen to the promptings and the guidance. And so those things kind of started, but I have to say that it was mostly me willing to take the next step that was placed before me. It wasn't
Mm.
that I was planning or creating. I don't think I was necessarily creating that pathway, but I was willing to listen. I was willing
Mm.
to step onto the next thing that came into my pathway. And I really think too, there was a lot of angels watching over me, because it could have so easily gone a different direction. And then when I was 18, I met this cute guy, um, who would later become my husband. But at the time, you could go to the grocery store and they had these little pink scrolls that were at the checkout, and it was your daily astrology. It was
Mm.
your daily horoscope. And so I had to have one of those at all times, right? And so I meet this cute guy, and I'm like, I wonder if we're compatible. And so I started reading all the astrology books, and then I kind of taught myself how to do my chart and his chart, just so I could see if we're compatible. And it says we weren't, but that was 46 years ago, and we are. But I think that just being willing to continue to be curious and open to what comes to me, because I haven't necessarily tried super hard to learn certain things or
Mm.
to be a certain way. It's just that these are the things that presented, and I recognized it as the next step.
Mm.
Mm. That's
Wow. That's,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
I
I
love
can
that.
relate. Hmm.
So what is the thing that keeps you doing what you do? What is your current why?
I just I'm a why person. Like, I want to understand myself. I want to understand other people. I want to understand why did I do that?
Hmm.
And why do I feel this way? And why did that spark so much curiosity? Why did that one thing really light me up and make me so much more curious, where another thing is like, yeah, yeah, I can take it or leave it. And I want to know the same about other people. Like, why do people do the things they do? And how can I, as a practitioner, how can I help them to see the beauty in themselves? Because
Mm.
beauty is a big thing for me.
Mm.
Not just, and I'm not talking appearance wise, although I do that also. I do permanent makeup, and I do create beauty on people's faces, but I see the world through the eyes of beauty. What is beauty and what is not beauty? And I
Mm.
just feel like a big reason why I'm here is to create more beauty in the world. more beauty in, to see their beauty in their soul, to see their purpose, the things that ignite their passions. I
Wow.
like to see that. I like to know why and how.
Wow. You're really making me think too, even about myself. Like you're actually putting words to things how I felt, through the years, even my own path of, it's not like I did this intentionally, like I set out to be a feng shui practitioner. It's like things just started to present, or people would come into, my line of, into my field. And so that's beautiful. And you absolutely bring beauty in everything that you touch, the words that you speak, your presence, just your gentle, open heart. You are such people who get to work with you are very blessed,
Mhm.
very
Oh, you're
lucky,
so sweet.
very,
Thank
very
you.
lucky, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to hear a story. You're such a good story. In fact, we were joking the other day. Let's have Autumn share a story with us. And we're like, oh, hopefully not the story from the retreat.
No, I'm not sharing
But
that one.
you are a hell of a storyteller. You're funny.
Yeah.
And even the way you were acting things out. Now, if you need more room and you need to get up off your chair to tell a story, we're open for that.
Is that an air thing, Jeremy, where I'm always throwing my hands around?
Yeah. Possibly.
I'm
Possibly.
trying to fly.
But I'd love to know, like, has along this unfolding of this path that you're on, is there something, a story or an experience that stands out has to be really a profound moment for you? Or maybe it's something you want to share, like something that happened between maybe you and a client that you've worked with, where they've had this profound awareness.
There's so many. I wish I would have written them all down. The thing that comes to mind just right off the top of my head was one of those moments where you realize it's the small, simple things that make such a huge difference.
Mhm.
So we were on, like, I'm kind of a big follower of Jesus. Like, Jesus is my spirit guide, sort of thing, right? So we were on this trip. Excuse me. I just got a tickle.
I know what that means.
Yeah. We we had bought a new trailer, and our good friends had a motorhome. So we decided that we were going to take off and go on this trip to California and go to the beach. And we got to Seattle, and it was getting late. Excuse me. It was getting really late, and we had actually stopped at several campgrounds along the way, and no one had room for us. So we just kept going. And then as we got closer to Seattle, the traffic got horrendous and it was getting dark. So we pulled off right in downtown Seattle. And there was nowhere really to go because I mean, we're probably 40 feet long or more,
Mm.
with the truck and this long trailer. So we pulled into this abandoned port right next to the ocean there, and there were no cars parked there, and yet everywhere around us was just nonstop traffic and people and cars and backed up. And we looked up and we realized that we were in this abandoned um, port area where all the homeless people were hanging out. And right above us was the stadium, and they were having a game that night.
Mm.
So we were kind of stuck because there's no way to get back on the road, right? Like it's just bottleneck for this game. And we're right in the middle of it all. And then there are signs everywhere that say no parking. If anyone parks here, you'll be towed, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, we just don't have any choice. So my husband was a nervous wreck because there were homeless people everywhere, just everywhere. My dog was having a fit because people were passed out in the bushes, and she didn't understand what are these people and these weird smells. And so we went to bed, and we could hear gunshots out at night, and these limos were pulling up with girls hanging out, and it was obvious there was some bad stuff happening, right? So my husband didn't sleep all night, and the next morning we got up and we were walking. I can't remember why, but we were walking a little ways from the trailer when this man comes up, and he looks like a homeless man, but there was something different about him. And these are the moments I'm talking about, when something is placed in front of you.
Mm.
And as he came towards me, well, there were four of us walking, and he was walking towards us, but something about him was different. And I noticed. And he walked up and he looked me right in the eyes, and he said, "Do you have 75 cents? Because I'm trying to buy a bus ticket to get home to my brother." And my friend and my husband, I could feel their energy like, "Go away, you homeless man. You're going to be buying booze," That's how they are. And often I am too, with beggars or, people approaching for money. I'm often like, they're going to spend it on drugs, or they're going to spend it on, I'm cautious. I'm cautious.
Mm-hmm.
But this man, there was something different about him. There was something like his energy reminded me of Jesus.
Mm.
And so I got in my pocket, and all I had was a $5 bill, and I handed it to him. And he teared up and he said, "I don't have any change."
Mm.
Mm.
And I said, "It's okay. Go." And the four of us just stood there, and I was processing, because that, whether you believe in Jesus or whatever, that was Jesus energy to me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, he sat there for a minute and goes, "What the hell just happened?" And I said, "I don't know about you, but I think we just met Jesus."
Mm.
Hmm.
So that one has stuck with me. And it's again like paying attention to just what is put in your path. And those little things, they can be major life changes
Mm.
for you.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm moved by
You know,
that.
that's pretty wow. It's pretty cool that you had been on the journey that you were already on to get to that
Mm.
point to be able to see and sense that energy.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it had you not been aware, you may have missed that moment. So that's incredible.
I would have been like we often are, like, there's another guy, homeless
Mm-hmm.
dude, wanting drug money.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have another story you want to share? Because I want to hear more.
Well, there was a recent one. This is the power of Reiki. So again, our trailer's involved, and it's just like 2 weekends ago. And my husband, he's starting, his vision is starting to get kind of bad, and
Mm.
he has neuropathy in his feet, so he can't feel the gas and the brake very well. But he usually is the guy that pulls the trailer, right? I mean, I can, but I don't really want to because I'm not super experienced. And so we decided we'll take the trailer up to the property. and my my two stepdaughters had come to visit, and they have a big 120-pound dog, and then I have two little dogs. So we all loaded into the truck, right? So we've got three dogs, four people, and we head out to take the trailer up to our property. And the wind starts blowing
Mm.
really hard. And so we're going down the freeway, and the trailer's doing this. And I'm just like, because my husband doesn't see well and he can't feel his feet on top of this, right? So I normally do the driving because of it. And then I just thought, all right, do Reiki, just do Reiki. So
Mm.
I'm in the truck and I'm doing my Reiki symbols in the truck, and I'm blessing everyone in the truck, right? And so then I'm like, okay, we're going to be fine because I know the power of Reiki. And when I send Reiki, Reiki, Reiki protects, right? So now we're going up the canyon. It's a 2-lane road, curvy, very curvy. And he's doing about 40 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, up ahead, because of the wind, I see a great big limb has come off of a tree and is laying
Mm.
right in the middle of the road.
Oh.
And I'm like, stop! But he can't see it that far away yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his reaction to braking is delayed. So then he kind of sees it, and he starts to go into the other lane, but then he realizes there's two cars coming the other way, so he can't do that. So he goes back into our lane and hits this limb head on. And excuse me, and it's tall enough, like it's over the top of the hood of the truck. It's that
Mm.
big. And it hits the windshield and it hits down the side of the truck. And I know it goes down the side of the trailer. And it sounded atrocious. And we were all just like, whoa, what the heck, you know? But then it's like, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're all okay. And so when we pulled over and got out to inspect, we thought for sure our truck is severely damaged. Not a scratch.
Oh, wow.
Not a scratch.
What?
Not a
Wow.
scratch.
Well,
I have experiences like this all the time with Reiki.
Wow, that's incredible. Because
that's,
that sounds like I thought the windshield broke. I thought there
yeah.
was scratches. Oh my gosh. That's
Either
incredible.
GMC is one hell of a truck or my Reiki is one hell of a powerful shield.
I choose you.
Yeah. I, yeah. I choose the latter.
Oh,
My husband's
wow.
like, GMC all the way.
And then you're like, okay, Blindy, get out of the truck. You're sitting
I'll
over
drive
here.
from here.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God. Wow. I love that. I love that, in just everyday kind of mundane activities, you were able to kind of take the power of the gifts that you have and just apply them to that scenario.
Hmm.
It's
That's
just
amazing.
it's everyday life for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, Jeremy, because I think a lot of us, me, I think it's like, oh, this has got to be ceremonial. I've got to create intentions and I need to make a big deal out of this spiritual stuff or these gifts when it doesn't have to be, you
Hmm.
know. So I'm grateful that you shared those stories because you're fun to listen to. And you always have me hanging. I never know quite where this is going to end. And but it always I mean it does end up funny and good. So I mean, are you doing what? So what kind of work are you? I'm gonna sorry, I'm gonna side rail this just for a second. So the work that you're doing, because you haven't really talked a whole lot about, who you like to work with, and um, are you doing astrology? Like, tell us how people, who, what, tell us about your work.
Huh?
'Cause I don't feel like we haven't quite supported you in that area. Do you like, because you like Reiki, right? So you're just standing on the side of the road throwing Reiki at people, right?
Well, I have been known to do that, especially in airports. I'm like, oh, poor dude.
Oh.
So what you're asking is, how do they find me?
No, well, yeah, we want to get to that, but what, I mean, you talked about the work that you do and you said Reiki and astrology. What does that look like in your day?
So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I'm in the process of kind of changing things up for myself a little bit because, all right, here's full disclosure. This year I qualify for Medicare.
Mm.
and and so it's kind of time for me to step into the crone energy. Like I've
Mm,
resisted that, but it's kind of time, right? So I'm changing up things a little bit. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll do permanent makeup still,
Mm.
and that's actually going to be eliminating part of that, which will free me up to do a little bit more teaching and some more astrology and feng shui.
cool. What is
Feng
it that
shui's
you
getting
teach?
busier. What do
Hmm.
I teach?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. I've taught herbal tea classes, I've taught ritual classes, some feng shui classes, herbal potion classes. Right now, I'm doing a 1 year and a day mystic program, and we have
Cool.
4 months left. And then we'll do initiations, and we're going to culminate that series up at my property with a 3 day vision quest, and they'll be
Wow.
finished. And I'm not quite sure where that's going to go.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I'm waiting for the signs to kind of show me what are we going to do next. Some of
Yeah.
them are asking for feng shui classes, and some of them are asking for the next level mystic class. So I might do both. I don't know.
Mm.
I love that.
Will you
I
teach
love
that 1 year and a day over? I mean, will you start a new one?
I'm not sure. I had a lot of fun with it, but it felt um, a little bit maybe too much, like a big commitment for
Mm.
them and me. So I'm sure that I'll do a similar program, but it might be broke up into maybe every 3 months.
Mm.
If people are not, like, if that path does not resonate with you, you usually know
Mm.
within 3 months, 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
And so to be committed to a year and a day program for a couple of those people, they weren't quite there. They weren't quite
Mm.
ready.
Hmm.
And so I think if I break it down into some shorter commitment terms for
Hmm.
them, it might be a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Mm.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Hmm. Yeah, you're so in tune. Okay, Jeremy, I'll stop. I'll stop asking questions.
No, no, that was actually you answered my next question. What is it that you've got coming up? What like the classes, the Reiki appointments, what are the things that you've got going right now?
Lots of astrology charts. people are people are really searching. Like
Hmm.
I'm sure you guys know what I mean. They just don't know right now what to do, and they're struggling. People are struggling with a lot of things. So I have a lot of astrology clients right now I'm working with. I have not had the time to do a lot of like in house feng shui clients. So I'll be freeing up an extra day so that I can take
Mm.
some more of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to get my labyrinth done because I feel called to to do more in-person stuff and to create
Mhm.
a community of like-minded people. So my backyard is important to me to kind of try and get this finished so that I can start doing outdoor gatherings. I want to do some moon
Mm.
ceremonies. I want to do some teaching outside. I want to do more of the flower
Mm.
herbal kind of things. So those things I'll be doing. Um, and then in October, my past business partners and I, Soul Spark 7, we get together once a year and do like a full day workshop of all kinds of different magical modalities. The four of us come together and do that. So we do have that planned in October. That'll be
Wow.
about the time my Mystic class finishes up. So
Wow.
between now and then, I'll be watching for the signs. I really never know where spirit's gonna
Mm.
take me. Like it's always a big surprise. I'm gonna be doing what? Okay, we'll figure this out, right?
I love that. Well,
And
so
listening to
for
them, like what
for
they want.
Yeah.
so for people to find you, can they go to your website? Do you have a website that people can book appointments with you?
Yeah, it's autumnmoonfengshui.com.
Awesome. We'll
We'll put
leave
the
that
link.
we'll leave that in the caption so that
Yeah.
anyone who's interested can find Autumn. I've had many experiences with Autumn, and I've been able to access some of her gifts, which are
Mm-hmm.
incredible, and they've been very helpful. So if you're interested, please go to her website and set up an appointment with her. And then also in the comments, we'd love to hear what your why is.
Mm-hmm.
What is your why for doing the things that you're doing right now? Why do you keep doing the work that you do? Why are you involved in the communities that you're involved in? What is your why?
Yeah. What is your why, Jeremy?
My why?
Mm-hmm.
I loved hearing about Autumn's why because she is so curious, and that's a Libra trait. Libras love to ask why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my why is I like to get the answer to why, but I also like to help people with their why.
Mm-hmm.
When people come to me and ask questions about astrology and about their lives and why are things happening the way they are, astrology usually has the answer. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I do what I do, because I get a lot of the answers that
Yeah.
I'm looking for and that other people are looking for. How about you?
Mm-hmm.
What is your why?
You do that. I think my why is I want to make a difference. I don't know how to elaborate on that. In my life, other people's lives. Yeah, I think that's my why for today. We'll
It
see.
changes.
So, Autumn, Jeremy and I have been having some discussions in past episodes about the current energy, and that's why we named this podcast or this conversation "Everything Energy." What do you think about the energy, the times that we're living in, and what's going on in the world? What are you seeing, hearing from your clients?
You know, the last couple of years, I'm a big Dolores Cannon
Mm,
fan, and the work that she did for prophesize what will be coming, and Nostradamus, and some of those old prophets. And I have to admit, I used to be one of those people that was afraid. I had the food storage and I had all the stuff ready in case of the apocalypse. But the last few years, I'm starting to see things more from an energetic point of view rather than an earth-based point of view, and understanding that time is linear and
Mm.
all of this is actually happening now. It's all happening at the same time. And understanding frequency and our power, like I've talked about with Reiki, we all have power to
Mm.
change what's happening right now. And I'm probably not the person who's going to go stand in line to cast my vote in the polls. Not to say I won't vote, but I feel like my power as an individual is more on an energetic level
Mm.
than it is a physical level.
Mm.
And so when I use my Reiki or I go into meditation, I have the power to affect change. And the more of us who
Mm.
learn how to use that, and the more that we come together, because I have seen the power of combined energy where people
Mm.
come together in a sacred circle and set an intention for whatever it is. I have witnessed some really powerful things happen.
Mm.
And so I'm not as in fear. I'm more about gathering my power, surrounding my power, calling it in, and sharing that power with as many people as I can, which is the community thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And combining them together for the good of all.
Yeah.
Mm. That's awesome.
So how are you, like when you have a client reach out for a session or a reading or a feng shui consultation and they're freaking out, because their marriage is falling apart or they're unhappy or for whatever reason they're unhealthy. I mean, what are you saying or doing to assist them in navigating the world? Because they might be living in more of a human state or more of a, just having to survive because they have to deal with what's in front of them. What kind of hope are you giving them? What kind of tools are you teaching them?
I usually look at their chart and I try to find the most powerful animal they have
Mm-hmm.
in their chart. And then I have them research that animal, or I call to mind in the moment, what are the traits of that animal? What are the
Mm-hmm.
positive traits? And I try to
Mm.
connect them to that animal. Because a lot of times they're really not connecting. They might be stuck more in their rabbit and being afraid and burrowing into their hole, right? And
Mm-hmm.
feeling like they don't have power. So if they have a horse or a tiger or an ox, I try to get them to focus on what is the strength of that animal
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
pull
good.
within yourself to pull those traits out and focus there.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. We got to focus on the good parts, right? We don't, oh man, it's so easy to just get caught up in everything that's wrong, everything that somebody did or what they said. Yeah.
I've done it.
I do it every day. But you catch yourself. That's the gift that I think I've learned over the years is catching myself and redirecting that energy or those thoughts, those feelings, and getting out of them as quick as you can and
You're
focus.
really good at teaching that. You've been so
Yeah.
instrumental in teaching me that.
Hmm.
Mm.
Me
Oh,
too.
thank you. Thank you. Do you want to? We got one more question here before we go. Do you want to ask, Jeremy, under family?
Um, do you have any parting message to our listeners today? What do you want people to know?
That you're more powerful than you think you are. Going right back to that. Find your power and focus there and work on it. Take the classes, do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I
And the
love
work,
that.
yeah, to me, work is a weird word because it sounds hard. It can be so joyful, so fun. So, I mean, the more you know, the more curious you are, the more questions you have. Do the work. I agree. Well, I'm glad you have classes that we can, in sessions and events that you're doing. So we'll share links so that people can get in touch with you.
Yes.
Um,
And on just to finish, could you pull a card for us?
Oh,
ooh,
sure. Mm,
what
I
deck
have
are you
this
gonna pull?
Sacred Rebels.
Sacred Rebels. Ooh, I love
I
that.
love this deck.
That's
A lot of
perfect for the
character
dragon
building.
year. Mm.
People always say I'm a rebel, so, and I am
You are.
certain way. Oh,
Seeing the true you. Whoa.
being the true you.
Wow.
And look, she's looking down into the deep water. That
Mm,
black energy, the deeper you go, the darker the water, right? So you've got to
mm,
be willing to look at the shadows too. And that's not easy to do. That's tough work.
mm-hmm,
That is tough work. But she's also on this beautiful green leather sofa chair, really comfy, and she looks very relaxed.
Mm.
Like she's very introspective.
mm-hmm,
And it's a peaceful, calm energy. Like she's willing to do the work. She's looking way down there, and give her a fishing line, she'll pull up some stuff, right? Yeah, do your
mm.
work.
That's cool. Looks like
Perfect.
she's surrendered into that. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
there's even a coffee cup way back there. Look at that.
Oh,
Huh.
Do the work and then you can have a cup of coffee.
yeah. Her
Yum.
order's on the way, right? It's floating over to her.
Yum. Coffee time.
Oh my God. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being
Thank
our first
you.
guest.
Oh, thanks for having me. You know I love you too so much.
We love you right back.
Yeah. It's funny because when I moved down here, which is across the street from Jeremy, I think you said it to my daughter. You said something that's like, yeah, you're moving down here. And then you said to her, yeah, we'll probably see less of each other now that we live closer together.
Right?
And we've lived here for 3 months and I haven't seen you in person yet. So,
Well, if the weather would cooperate, I'd come drag you both out for walks.
okay, well, let's do
We're,
that.
we're willing.
Yes. Thank you, my friend. We
Thank
love
Thank
you.
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 Bye,
Thank you so
everybody.
much. This was fun.
Bye.
Bye bye.